is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Main Street Media, live from SEC Media Days in Atlanta, is presented by Shelter Insurance of Dixon and Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter. And in part by Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee, Steve Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat, Jeff Eby for State Representative, Red Bird Realty, Porter Brothers HVAC LLC, Area 51 Tech Solutions, Micah Blunt State Farm Agency, Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint, Denton's The TV Store, Fast Stop Markets of Middle Tennessee, C&K Forklift Service and Repair, First Lending Solutions and Pam Witt, and by the Roxy 8 Theater of Dixon. And welcome live to Atlanta and SEC Media Days 2022. This is Main Street Sports Today. We are presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, and we are live here presented by Shelter Insurance. We are so glad to have you with us. We've got a whole slate of stuff happening with us today. We'll be joined talking LSU Tigers, LSU with Ron Higgins. Also, Reaction Monday. As always, the commissioner was on earlier today. Down in the main room so we'll be talking heavy football as you might expect. Now to the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton, and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao, live from Media Days 2022. Gentlemen, welcome in.
Yeah. Well, what's up? There we are. Reaction Monday here on this fantastic, beautiful day that we have here in Atlanta, Georgia. And boy, the coolest thing about being here at SEC Media Day and here live on Radio Row is that you just get random folks walking through.
Well, they're not random necessarily.
Well, it's not. Everybody is random, right? It's just random kind of people just walking through. And then sometimes you strike gold.
Every now and then you get lucky. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
That is what they say, Mo. And today we are incredibly lucky to have obviously, Ron Higgins is going to be on the show later talking to LSU, but we get a chance to hear straight from the Tigers' mouth in our opening segment as Mike Jones of LSU is in the building. He's sitting here at our table, and so glad to have you. Mike sat down and said, where y'all from? He saw the Tennessee on our logo, and we said, well, Nashville. He said, well, what part of Nashville? Like we didn't know.
Give me a sticker so they know what logo we're talking about.
He said, what part of Nashville? And that's when we knew. He knew what we was.
There's the logo. Yeah. When we told him Nashville, he said, what? Yeah.
No, what part?
Be more specific. So the rest of the story here, Mike Jones, as we said, LSU junior linebacker joining us. And Mike is from Nashville himself. Played a little high school ball at Friendship Christian before finishing up down at IMG Academy down in Florida. Spent a couple years over at Clemson and now headed into his junior season over at LSU. Mike, really, we're lucky and we appreciate you taking some time with us right out of the box here on Main Street Sports Today.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. It's always good to talk to people from home. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Been a while since you've been home, I guess. Again, transferred down to IMG after your sophomore year?
Yep, after my sophomore year of high school.
And then spent, 2 years at Clemson?
Yep. No, 3 years.
3 years at Clemson.
3 years.
Okay.
And then this is my second year at LSU. So I'm the oldest junior. I got a redshirt year. I got a COVID year. And I'm a fifth-year junior.
And you've still got another year of eligibility next year?
Still got another one.
Goodness. You're that guy that all these high school kids are talking about when they're saying nobody's leaving, so there's nowhere for us to go. But at the same time, beneficial for you to get that extra playing time, I guess.
Yeah, yes, sir, absolutely. and I don't know if I will use my COVID year next year, but being a red shirt and being a fifth year, I got to get some early game experience. So my freshman year, I got to play in 4 games. And then now, I'm sitting here year 5, ready to do it one more time.
That kind of experience has to be a benefit to you when you go out on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming into school, coming from, a high school environment, you might have at the most a couple thousand people there at your game. Then you go from there to, you're playing in front of 80, 90,000, 100,000, it's very, a very dramatic change, and so like early on, at least for myself, it was hectic, it's hard to be comfortable out there. But as you take your time and you play through games and you've been around the crowd and you've been through the preparation over and over and over, it's just my regular Saturdays now.
There you go.
Speaking with LSU linebacker Mike Jones Jr. here on Main Street Sports Today. Chris, this guy has played in both Death Valleys.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing. I was going to say it because look, that's a huge rivalry. Which one is the real Death Valley? Putting you on the spot, Mike.
Listen, I've answered this question before.
Okay.
Both LSU and Clemson, man, their game day environments are top tiers. Like the Hill at Clemson, unforgettable. I committed there for a reason. I came out of high school for a reason. With that being said, I don't know if there's any place in the world like Baton Rouge on a Saturday night. It's amazing. And Clemson's amazing. Some very insane moments there as well. But Baton Rouge on Saturday night, man, it truly is different.
I've always regretted that is once you get past Missouri and Texas A&M, I guess LSU is the only SEC venue that I have not seen a football game in, and I'm very disappointed.
Man, you gotta go.
That I've not. Yeah,
you gotta go.
Well, if I come, I'm gonna hit you up. But yeah, and I have to. If I come, I'm coming on a Saturday night because
gotta be a Saturday night. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but man, I've heard so many good things about it. Watched it on TV. I remember a game, LSU Alabama, Jacob Hester and that bunch, and yeah, that's kind of a bucket list thing for me.
Yes, sir. It's unforgettable. I promise you. I've been around a lot of college games. It's my 5th year. I played in a lot of games. LSU at nighttime, man, second to none.
Mike, one of the unique things about you is, as Mo said, you transferred from Friendship to IMG. You went to Clemson. Now you were at LSU. So, getting used to different coaches is not something new for you. Have you been able to take something from, obviously how easy it is or how difficult it is to learn a new system? Is that something that you find a little bit easier because you've done it a few times?
Yeah, absolutely. That's just the way life is. Nothing really stays the same forever, and as I've gotten older, I learned that, man. But, being able to accept change, and be able to implement the people who are ahead of the change, implementing what they want, I feel like that is what, really has made the difference as I've done this a couple times, early on, changing from high school to one high school to another, that was crazy for me, and then I go to Clemson, that's another change, when that becomes somewhat normal. And I go from Clemson to LSU with Coach Orgeron. And, at this point, I'm used to changing, and then this year we have another coach change. And so at this point, man, I'm used to adjusting to different situations.
Mike Jones, junior linebacker at LSU, joining us here on Main Street Sports Today. Mike, we appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good luck this year.
Guys.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Glad you got to talk to the folks at home, man.
Me too, man.
All right, we're going to send it back to JP now as we get set for our first break of the day. But before we do that, JP is going to tell us what happened over the weekend and the very short schedule that is on tap today on The Rundown.
This is The Rundown. The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy, providing a Christ-centered college prep education at an affordable cost. Call 931-388 5731 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule an appointment for a tour today.
All right, looking at scores for the Major League Baseball over the weekend. Friday, Braves over the Nationals 8-4. Cardinals down the Reds 7-3. Giants 8-5 winners over the Brewers. On Saturday, the Cardinals bested the Reds 11-3. A couple of extra inning games between the Mets and the Cubs. 2-1, 4-3, both winners of the wrong team. That would be the New York Mets.
Right.
Braves do hold suit, 6-3 winners over the Nationals. The Giants 2-1 winners over the Brewers. And on Sunday, it was the Nationals 7-3 over the Braves. Cubs did get back one on the Mets. 3-2 your score there. Giants over the Brewers 9-5. Weekend portion of the series with Memphis for the Nashville Sounds. Nashville took 2 of 3 from Memphis over the weekend. As always, we'll have Jeff Him later in this week looking at a Thursday visit with him, so stay tuned for that. MLS over the weekend, Nashville Soccer Club falls to L.A. 2-1, your final there. On slate for tonight, not a whole lot, but it is the Home Run Derby for those that are interested in that. That happens at 7 o'clock Central, and that will be on the Mothership ESPN. CONCACAF Women's Semifinals, U.S. Finals, okay.
Yep,
that's right, USA, Canada, 9 o'clock tonight. That'll be on Paramount Plus, and that is your Monday Rundown. It is presented by Zion Christian Academy, ZCAEagles.org.
All right, when we come back, we'll pick up our top story on the other side of the break. We got lucky with Mike, so our top story will come back on the other side of the break. So stick around here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Live coverage from here at SEC Media Days is brought to you by Shelter Insurance, Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton out in Dixon. We appreciate their support. We will be right back after this. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back to SEC Media Days, presented by Shelter Insurance. Our coverage live in Atlanta coming up later. In just about 14 minutes from now, Roman Harper, SEC Network, will be joining us. And then later, around 4 o'clock Eastern, local time, We'll be joined by Ron Higgins, TigerDetails.com, as our LSU segment for today, as they were first up, and head coach Brian Kelly. So it's been a fun start, guys. A guest right off the bat, a local guy too, nonetheless. So that was pretty cool.
That was
Welcome,
really cool.
welcome to SEC Media Days, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing. I think, one, it just speaks to the impact that the Nashville area is having on Southeastern Conference football, when you just randomly, as Chris said, have somebody walk up and sit down, and it just happens to be a guy who played his high school ball in Middle Tennessee. So
That's incredible.
yeah,
And it speaks to what we've been talking about for the last year and a half of the level of high school football talent in Middle Tennessee, how it has raised over the last 20 years. And, guys starting for LSU, not just starting, but one of the 3 players brought to SEC Media Days.
right. I mean,
That's huge.
yeah, we talked last week about Dante Smith going to ACC Media Days with Georgia Tech, played his ball at Spring Hill. This area, our area, is really putting some athletes out at a very high level, and it's really been fun to watch. And I mean, we're going to get into high school football here real soon, but I'm telling you, you need to go see somebody, because there's a lot of talent out there on Friday nights, and some of it's showing up on Saturdays.
Absolutely. Our top story, speaking of high school sports, we do kind of dip into the prep ranks a little bit here, as Columbia Central has hired a new basketball coach to lead the boys team. And boy, did they get a proven guy.
They did. They really did a great job with this coaching search, and resulted in the hiring of former Science Hill boys basketball coach Ken Cutlip. And I have to slow myself down because I can easily go Cutcliffe with that. But no, Cutlip, Cutlip. There's an article on MainStreetMurray.com, but Cutlip spent 18 seasons at Science Hill, won more than 500 games, 505 to be exact, at Science Hill. And so this is as great a get, I think, for Columbia Central as they could have possibly come up with in replacing Nick Campbell after 4 seasons.
It really is impressive. So well done to the new administration at Columbia Central. They got it done quickly. They got the search, going, and picked somebody and made it work. And that's a testament to what they've been able to do, at Columbia Central with this, over the last few years, what Nick Campbell has built over there. They've got a little bit of a reputation now, and Ken Cutlip will come in here and try to continue.
Absolutely. And it's a package deal.
Yeah.
Because Ken's wife, Missy, will be the cheer coach for football and basketball at Central, and they have 4 boys. Their 2 youngest will be coming with. Caden will be an 8th grader at Whitthorne. Coda will be a sophomore 3-4 player at Central. So package deal coming from East Tennessee to Columbia Central. A lot to be excited about there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Moving on to SEC Media Days. While we're here again live from Radio Row, and excited to be here. And we could not do it, Mo, without the support of the local business community. And we have so many fantastic sponsors, obviously starting with Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton and Shelter Insurance, who, really took this project on and said, you guys are going to do some great things out there. We want to be a part of it. So Jim and Heather, thank you guys so much. Obviously, Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, who, continues to sponsor our show each and every day. And we couldn't do it without their support either. So again, thanks to Shelter Insurance out in Dixon, Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton, and to our title sponsor of Main Street Sports today, Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Just fantastic, folks. And of course, all of the other sponsors. We have just a plethora of great sponsors, and you'll hear from them later in this hour and in the next, and as well in the George Plaster Show, which will follow our show at 4 o'clock. Mo, it's going to be fantastic. So here we go. Let's start Reaction Monday. And fact is, Greg Sankey made some pretty stellar comments. I mean, he didn't pull any punches.
No.
When asked about the Southeastern Conference and how he felt about the Big Ten Conference luring away USC and UCLA. Basically said, look, we feel like we still got the better end of the deal.
Yeah, and now, as we said, not sure what else he's gonna say, but at the same time, I think it's pretty factual, and I think it kind of stands on its own, that comment. I mean, Texas, Oklahoma, USC, UCLA. I think most objective college football fans would tell you that the SEC got the better of that deal as well. So.
I mean, currently, yes. I know both UCLA and Texas have kind of been down. USC's been down too for the last couple of years. Oklahoma, not so much. Oklahoma's been right there in the thick of things over the last 5 years. So, yeah, I mean, I think as of right this second, sure, it's, the SEC's probably did get the better end of that deal. And here's the thing. We don't know what the conference affiliation is going to do for these teams. What we do know is that Oklahoma and Texas are far more in the Southeastern Conference footprint than USC and UCLA are.
Or in the Big Ten.
And I do think that's going to make a difference to recruits.
Yeah, and it's interesting because as you say that, as Greg Sankey was answering that question with a yes, he says, we're in contiguous states, southeastern quadrant. We are in the southeastern quadrant of the United States. Those two additions actually restore rivalries. But they are maintaining a regional basis, a regional foundation for the conference, as opposed to, from Nebraska to the West Coast. So I'd like to think that there's something to be said for that.
I think there is. And that's one of the things that I think Sankey was in. I don't think he would have invited Nebraska or Iowa State or whatever.
Or UCLA or USC.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just not going to happen. So well done for at least that part of it. At least geography still does matter, at least somewhat, to the Southeastern Conference. So
for now,
anyway,
Yeah.
And to that point, when we get to 16 teams, things have to change schedule-wise. And he answered a couple of questions about that. And that's where I really thought it was super interesting, with the single division model. He said one of the biggest issues is tiebreakers and that sort of thing. He then said that, the number of games, what does that mean from a scheduling standpoint? How do we support a model with permanent rivals and that? So, it's interesting because he said, look, the impact on the bowl eligibility a problem. And, when I go through 6 different teams having won national championships in the last 25 years, close to that number, the level of competition where people want to be a part of it, we're attentive and sensitive to that. Well, here's the thing. That's exactly what he's saying. It's hard to make a schedule and feel like somebody is going to come out
in position to play for a national
title.
Championship. Of course, now that was the talk back in 1992 when they expanded to South Carolina and Arkansas, that, the SEC will never win a championship. They're going to beat each other up, blah, 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 blah,
and then
blah.
They won the first one.
Yeah, there you go. So
thank you, Antonio Lane.
Just tell the SEC what they have to do.
Listen, but that's on top of that, you have to think of it as it shouldn't matter. You shouldn't have to go undefeated in the Southeastern Conference in order to play for a national title because of this.
Mm-hmm.
So are you saying that, if your champion has 1 or 2 losses, it's not going to be enough? I certainly don't think that's the case.
It shouldn't be the case. No. I mean, because, again, they may beat each other up. They may hand each other a loss or two, but then when they get out, and it's kind of like the NCAA baseball tournament to some degree. I mean, some of these teams, when they get out of conference play and start playing other folks, is when you really see them at their best.
Absolutely. It happens year after year.
Yeah.
No question there. So there you go. That's the biggest takeaway that I think I get from Greg Sankey's comments this morning. Obviously, he did talk about, was the SEC comfortable at 16 teams? What might happen if, there was an 18-team model for the college football playoff? He basically said, no, I'm against that. Not supportive of that, matter of fact.
Also, obviously, discuss some NIL because that's a hot button topic these days. And someone asked if NIL has helped the Southeastern Conference acquire the title of Super Conference, and he said he felt like they were a Super Conference before that.
And I think he's right.
Yeah. But what I think is interesting about NIL in the SEC is it's not just football and basketball.
That's right.
So,
and that's a lot of that has to do with the SEC network. The SEC network is what made the Southeastern Conference the power conference that it is. Obviously, football success was great, and there was some basketball success in there. But what the SEC network has allowed this conference to do is showcase every sport, showcase its volleyball teams, its gymnastics programs, its swimming programs. Southeastern Conference softball blew up after the SEC network became a thing because kids are now watching the SEC, teams on the SEC network. They're watching these kids, and softball players are becoming heroes.
Sure.
And that would have never happened without the SEC network.
So the exposure is there.
Absolutely.
Which is allowing everybody to benefit from NIL.
From NIL, exactly. Because those guys, those girls and dudes' names because you see them on TV, on national TV. Not just, no disrespect, but not just my TV 30. I mean, it's not local television. This is, you're seeing these folks. It doesn't matter if you're in Washington or not.
Right.
You're
From
seeing
coast to coast.
Coast to coast. Yep. So we are scheduled to have Roman Harper on the other side of the break. I know he is in the middle of another interview, so we will do what we are doing until he gets here. But stick around. Main Street Sports Today is presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and joint coverage from SEC Media Days here live on Radio Row, brought to you by Shelter Insurance, Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton out in Dixon. We will be right back after this. Stick around. Main Street Sports Today.
How do you measure success? In points? In wins? Or trophies? At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, in being there when you need us most. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see agents Jim Pratt or Heather Clifton in Dixon.
At Porter Brothers LLC, we look forward to discussing your plans, resolving concerns, and making improvements to the comfort, health, and efficiency of your home. With the right system operating at its best, you save money, better enjoy the living environment, and increase the value of your investment. We handle all makes and models for seasonal HVAC maintenance and repairs and offer free estimates on replacements. Call us today at 615-446-8067. 615-446-8067.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
As a two-term county commissioner, we built the County Justice Center and the Burns Middle School, all while maintaining a budget surplus. We were able to secure additional funding for all of the volunteer fire departments to get the vital equipment that they need to do their job. I fought on the front lines in Iraq. With your vote, I'll fight on the front lines in our community to give you a voice. Let's do this together.
Paid for by Jeff Eby for State Representative, District 69.
Area 51 Tech Solutions is focused on expert service with quality parts at an affordable price. Their passion is custom-built gaming desktop computers, virtual reality setups, and gadgets, but they also specialize in servicing and repairing all major brands of electronics, including computers, tablets, cell phones, HD TVs, and game consoles. Based in Dixon, they service Middle Tennessee from Clarksville to Murfreesboro and Portland to Columbia. Call them today at 615-379-8113 or visit area51techs.com.
When you think about buying a new or pre-owned car, you might immediately feel anxious about pushy sales staff and being forced into a decision that might not be the right one for you. Our team at Steve Jones Automotive in Dixon is nothing like that. We want to help you find the perfect car, not just the first car you test drive. When you visit our dealership, you'll also see the pricing up front without having to haggle or ask for a special discount. We want to earn your business for life. Come experience the progressive car buying experience with no pressure at Steve Jones Automotive in Dixon, Tennessee. Just a short drive from Nashville and the surrounding area.
Founded in 2005, Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, has a reputation of consistently offering the lowest possible rates and, above all, providing outstanding customer service. Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, takes pride in treating our clients with honesty and integrity. We provide excellent service and experience you can trust for all your mortgage needs, proudly serving all of Tennessee. Apply today. Call Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, 858-518-1506, or online at www.firstlendingonline.com.
NMLS number 314276, ID 135932.
Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Station presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao alongside the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday afternoon. This is Main Street Sports Station presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We are here live at SEC Media Day thanks to our friends at Shelter Insurance in Dixon, Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton. We appreciate their support as well. We are now joined in the hot seat by...
It's not that hot.
Yeah, well,
we've not gotten to use that in a while.
Don't put us on the spot because we'll put you on the spot, I promise. By former Alabama and former Prattville standout Roman Harper. Pretty excited to talk to this guy because I'm curious about you played for Bill Clark at Prattville, and he obviously he just had surgery, so our thoughts have been going out to him, former UAB coach who just stepped down. But man, what a ride that must have been, Bill Clark and playing in Alabama.
Well,
it's pretty crazy.
Well, when Coach Clark showed up my junior year, like I didn't even know if I was still wanting to play football. I had hoop dreams at that point, so I was about to be a basketball player. And he came in and kind of changed my whole life and just believing in me before I even believed in myself, and teach me the respect part of work ethic, what all it takes to win, the focus, the concentration on a night in, night out, the pregame rituals and things like that. And he means the absolute world to me. And to see him, his body kind of broke down. His back was what it was, and he needed surgery, and he couldn't be at his best. And because of that, he doesn't need to be out there because he doesn't know any other way. He only knows to grind and work and go and go. And so he'll be back. But for him to be able to stick through what UAB did to him in Alabama and all that stuff and still be able to win at that level consistently in what they do year in, year out, man, he's an excellent coach. He's won at every level. And I love that guy to death.
Never had a losing season as a head coach. That's pretty crazy.
I mean, I know he didn't at Prattville. All he did was ball. I didn't know that at UAB as well.
He was
but
6-6 the first year.
Yeah.
So he did finish 500, but he never lost more games than he won.
Hey man, him
That's a heck of a
and Mike
crew.
Tomlin, baby. That's about it. Bill Clark, Mike Tomlin. That's good company.
That's not bad at all. Roman Harper of the ESPN family, the SEC network, joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Roman, this will be your third season. Is that right?
Correct. First year was COVID. Last year was a mix of COVID, but we got out on the road a little bit, so it was good. My first year of traveling was last year, and it was unique to be able to see all these college campuses, the way people tailgate, and just when you play football, you just go on the bus, you go to the hotel, you go play a game, you go home. So actually seeing these campuses now, because recruiting was so different as well. I've never seen all these places, and it's been the best adventure in the last year and a half.
I know that you've probably not been to all 14 campuses, but of the ones you've been to, excluding Alabama because you got a bias there, what's your favorite?
I have favorite things about everything. Ole Miss, the best tailgating experience I'd ever seen in my life. I've never witnessed anything like the Grove. The Grove was absolutely amazing to see that many people in one space. And, most campuses, if, you tailgate, you have your own setup, this, that, and that. At Ole Miss, if you're not in the Grove, you're losing. Like, you're not tailgating unless you're in the Grove, period. And I think that's something that's a little bit more unique than most places. That was probably my favorite thing. Gainesville, it was hot. But it was good. It rains. Seems like it rains all the time. It's not as nice as I expected it to be, but it was still a very good time and a great experience as well.
We just had LSU linebacker Mike Jones on with us to start the show, and he said that there is no game day experience that compares to a Saturday night game in Baton Rouge. Did you make it to LSU last year?
I've been to LSU plenty of times. I've been there as a fan. I've been there as a player. I've been there when I was in the NFL, and I would just come down for a game. I've seen LSU upside down, inside out. Yes, it is an amazing, amazing experience. Now, one thing I've not done is go to LSU game as an LSU fan. So
there's a difference.
There is a difference.
Yes,
it is a difference. So, I remember last night game I went to. My wife and I went, and that was when AJ McCarron hit TJ Yeldon on the last minute screenplay. We went down the score last minute, and it was hilarious because before the game, you're walking to the game, and these people don't know me. I got a hat on. I'm with my wife. I'm just trying to keep it cool. I just want to go see the game. All right. Every time I walk in, you got some random fan jumping in your face talking about Tiger bait, and they all that. And it's like, I'm used to it. I know LSU fans. I know Louisiana fans. I actually appreciate the camaraderie and the passion. But then afterwards, when you lose, they're ready to just slit their own wrist. And my wife's like, can we talk trash? I'm like, no,
we can't.
Let's just go home. Look how sad they are. Like, they're not going to make it themselves.
We don't have to pile on.
We don't have to. We're above that. It's okay.
They feel bad enough as it is.
They do. And so my best experience ever was when I was actually playing for Alabama. We rolled into Baton Rouge on a night game. It was my first time there. And they're beating on the buses as we're pulling to the campus. And I'll never forget. Yeah, I remember like it was yesterday. I look out the window, the bus window, because I want to take it all in. And I see this old lady in a wheelchair flicking us off as we roll by. I was like, this is Baton Rouge. This is LSU. And my opinion still hasn't changed. It's still that. So it's just passion, man. And I appreciate it so much more after being in New Orleans for all those years as well.
I mean, you're talking about fans that pulled Auburn broadcasters out and tried to beat them up. So, I mean, those people don't play. It's just how it is. It's just how it is, man.
More enthusiastic fan base, LSU or Saints?
I think they're one and the same. I don't think you can divorce them. I think they're one and the same. I think for every LSU fan is probably a New Orleans Saints fan. Unless they grew up in like Dallas or something. But other than that, every LSU fan is definitely a Saints fan. And when they're not cheering for their team, they're rooting for New Orleans. So it's some of the best times I ever have is going down to New Orleans and just giving LSU fans a hard time because I played at Alabama. And I was the only Alabama guy in that locker room for many years until my man Mark Ingram came in. And he just continues to keep the tradition going where we just like poking the bear. It's fun. We like to just give him a hard time. And, and you got to understand, LSU's in this really unique position where, like, I compare it to this. LSU is like dating Beyonce in high school. It's like She moved on to better things, dating Beyonce now. Oh, dating Jay-Z, which Nick is at Alabama now, winning championships, which you all think like that could have been ours. We had one. We got two, Les Miles got another one off the same recruiting class. Like, we had it. And now it's no longer there. So now they're trying to build it back. I love to hire Brian Kelly, though. I think he's an amazing coach. He wins everywhere he goes. It's just going to take a little time. And we all know how hard it is to win consistently in the SEC West.
Oh, there's no question there.
Roman Harper, part of the studio crew for SEC Nation, along with Laura Rutledge, Tim Tebow, and Jordan Rogers. Y'all know where y'all are going yet?
No. That's the thing. That's the really unique thing as well. Is like we don't know until like the week of. Teams make the matchup, so fighters make it. So as teams start to win, that's where we're going to go. It is certain criteria that we must meet. We got to go to every campus at least once or twice. So I think Baton Rouge is actually on the list this year where we have to go to. So we'll find a game and we'll go to it. Vandy's another team that we got to check off because we didn't go last year. Missouri's another team as well. So I got to go to Como. I've never been to Missouri. When I was playing ball, Missouri's in the Big 12. Wasn't even a thing. I mean, the only thing they had was, Chase Daniel. That was it. That's all I knew about him. So it's been an adventure. I would love to go up there. I like to listen to Eli Drinkowitz, who's a good talker. So I want to come up there and see it. I don't know anything about the place.
They're not going to send you guys to Hawaii.
I wish. I would love to check that box.
Right,
that'd be a great check. That would be an amazing check, but I doubt it.
Seriously.
I doubt it's in the budget.
You talk about, the campuses and the game day experience. Sometimes when conferences expand, you're talking USC, UCLA, whatever in Big Ten country, they probably don't really get excited about that unless it's the Rose Bowl, right? Texas and Oklahoma will not decrease the excitement around game day in the Southeastern Conference. This is a natural fit and an extended rivalry that we're going to see from. It doesn't matter if they're playing Georgia or South Carolina. It's Oklahoma and Texas. Is that something that you think matters to the SEC when they're thinking about expansion?
Well, I hope it does. I think Sankey hit on that a little bit today, that they're not in any type of desperate mode. There's no desperation in anything that they're doing right now. They understand they have all the chips and they have all the power, that we don't have to do anything if we don't want to. We can stay very strong where we're at, and that these fans travel. Texas fans travel. Oklahoma fans travel. SC and UCLA fans, they don't travel as much. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that whole dynamic plays out. But that's them, and we only got to worry about us. And so, when you have a huge rivalry already built in with some of these schools, Texas, Oklahoma is already a big rivalry. Texas, Arkansas, already a huge rivalry. Oklahoma playing their sister school in Alabama is going to be another rivalry already. These things are kind of built into
Oklahoma, Tennessee from a couple of years ago was just phenomenal.
Exactly. These things have already happened. So these teams already have some sense of the fan experience, and they've traveled to each other. And so it'll be really cool to kind of see how all these things play out. I'm excited for it. I just hope I get to continue to stick around and see it all unfold out. And I don't think it's done. We just 365 days ago, we talked about NIL just being introduced into college football. And then at this same conference last year, Oklahoma and Texas, they came into decided they were coming over. So all these things are happening, and it hasn't been long, and it's not.
Roman Harper, former New Orleans Saint, former Alabama Crimson Tide, and former Prattville Lion.
Love Prattville.
Appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we look forward to seeing you on SEC Nation.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to break away from football for just a little bit because we have to talk about the Atlanta Braves and the Home Run Derby tonight. Can Ronald Acuna Jr. upset Pete Alonso? We'll find out. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Live coverage from SEC Media Days, brought to you by Shelter Insurance. Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton is back after this.
How do you measure success? In points? in wins or trophies. At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, in being there when you need us most. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see agents Jim Pratt or Heather Clifton in Dixon.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Don't overpay for your next home entertainment system. Visit the folks that have been selling, installing, and repairing TVs, stereos, and more for the last 40 years. Denton's, the TV store in Dixon, has the largest selection of high-end TVs on display. Denton specializes in professionally designed unique TV, audio, and video systems for the whole house, man cave, or outdoor space. Stop by in the Dixon Plaza across from Kroger or call 615-446-2222. Denton's, the TV store. It's in the name.
At Redbird Realty, we are committed to providing you with the highest quality service and not only finding your cherished home, but also a wise investment. With over 27 years experience in the real estate industry, we offer high quality service and we treat our clients the way that we would like to be treated. When you're ready, we would appreciate the opportunity to learn more about your real estate needs and answer any questions you may have. Call us at 615-476-2879. 615-476-2879.
With 14 locations across Tennessee, family-owned Fast Stop Markets knows you need simple. The one-stop shop for fuel, food, and more now offers Fast Stop Perks, an easy-to-sign-up rewards program that turns your purchases into points that you can spend like cash. You can also win prizes, join clubs, and save big. Get your Fast Stop Perks card at checkout or download the Fast Stop Perks app to start earning your points today. Fast Stop Markets, keeping you moving.
C&K Forklift Repair understands that a non-working forklift puts a hold on your team's ability to do its job. Our certified technicians work quickly and efficiently 24 hours a day to repair and provide maintenance on your forklift using only high-quality replacement parts. With over 15 years experience, C&K Forklift Repair also provides training and instruction for forklift operators covering all of Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and Northern Alabama. Give us a call, 615-651-2735.
State Farm Agency Micah Blunt is proud to bring you live coverage from SEC Media Days. Micah was born and raised in Tennessee and takes pride in providing the highest degree of protection for all customers. State Farm offers auto, home, and life insurance at the price you can afford. Located in Dixon, Tennessee, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Give Micah and his team a call today to help with all of your insurance needs. Serving all of Tennessee, call 615-229-2999. That's 615-229-2999.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in. Main Street Sports today is presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton here in Atlanta, GA. Welcome to Atlanta, Mo.
Where the players
play. And we're Main Street Sports today. Coverage here from the College Football Hall of Fame, Mo.
Yeah, it's really cool. You've been here before. This is my first time. I believe it's JP's first time as well. we got in here, we started getting set up for the show and figuring some things out, and it's kind of been a learn as you go kind of experience. So we've not really gotten to experience this place. That will change.
Yes, it will. And I hate that, most of the interactive displays are not working because they probably want folks working and not interacting with the displays. But it is a really cool place, and you should definitely come here when you can experience everything. But I've really enjoyed being here for sure. Thanks to Shelter Insurance, Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton for allowing us to do just that.
I can't imagine. I mean, if you have the opportunity to have an event like this in a place like this, I can't imagine why you wouldn't.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't forget, coming up after our show, the George Plaster Show with Billy, Derek, and I assume Watson Brown. I bet Watson brings a unique point of view from this, as he was obviously here as a coach so many times. So I'm sure that's going to be a lot of fun to let George talk to him about that. And Billy and their group is fantastic. So 4 o'clock, you will see the George Plaster Show. So don't forget that. As we talk a little bit about the Atlanta Braves, Mo, this weekend, solid 3 out of 4. It's hard to be upset about 3 out of 4, and yet I am.
Right. Yeah. It's hard to be upset about 3 out of 4, but when those 3 are the first 3, then obviously you get a little greedy and you want that last one. And Spencer Strider struggled a little bit early, and the offense struggled a little bit early and just couldn't get out of it. And they gave up a 7-3 decision in the final game of that 4-game series. And, for me, I was really wanting to see them get that win yesterday and get to 20 games over 500 going into the break.
Yeah, man, that's wild, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Considering, this team went from 23-27 to 56-37.
That's insane.
Do the math.
It truly is insane.
Yeah.
We're talking about, a team who most people had written off. And now
certainly a lot of people up in the northeastern portion of the United States had written them off. Yes, indeed. And so even though that series earlier in the week didn't go quite the way we would have liked, only getting 1 of 3 from the Mets in Atlanta before they went on the road to Washington for that final 4-game series, you still got to like where this team is right now. And for the fact that some of them are going to get some time off, 6 of them aren't.
Yeah, but 6 All-Stars.
But it's a good time for a break, I think. And then you've got the Angels coming in to open up the second half. Mike Trout just went on the DL.
Don't remind me.
Oh.
One, that's unfortunate for Braves fans.
It's also unfortunate for Chris's fantasy team.
Yeah, the Columbia Mules will certainly be missing Mike Trout. There's no question there.
It's funny you say that because watching that series against Washington earlier in the week, Hunter Harvey is a reliever for the Nationals, and once I realized who he was, it's like, well, I'll be dang. His father is Brian Harvey, a longtime reliever primarily with the Angels, but also Brian Harvey was a one-time Mo's Better Blues.
Really?
That was my fantasy team when I played.
Mo's Better Blues.
Yeah.
Shocker, it had blue in the title.
I was going to say.
As opposed to Mo Better Blues, the Denzel Washington, Spike Lee.
But I like, that's a really solid name.
It's very solid. I'll give you a team for that.
That's a great fantasy name right there. My dad's fantasy football team name when I was growing up was the Burnwell Fire Eaters.
Burnwell.
Well,
Fire Eaters.
So Burnwell is the community which I lived in. Mm-hmm. So it's really Burnwell.
Oh, well, of course it was.
But the Fire Eaters. So you go figure that one out.
There you go. Well, it's Chuck.
He was like, we got to figure something out. But anyway, tonight, the home run derby, And obviously they do it in tournament format, which is kind of weird. So head to head, you've got Pete Alonso of the New York Mets and
the polar bear.
Yeah. And yeah, not as cool as El Oso Blanco, but still
Pretty cool nonetheless. Yeah.
And Ronald Acuna Jr. will face off the 2 seed Alonso and the 7 seed Acuna. Ronald Acuna Jr. the second or the third, I forget.
Junior the third, I believe. Yeah.
So, can he win this? I mean, he's one of those players who does really well in home run derby. So Pete Alonso's won this thing.
Pete Alonso's won it twice, I believe.
Yeah.
But you've also got Kyle Schwarber, who is the number 1 seed against number 8 seed Albert Pujols. Corey Seager of the Rangers is the number 6. Julio Rodriguez of the Mariners Seager is the number 3. Julio Rodriguez is the number 6. And then number 4, Juan Soto. And number 5, Jose Ramirez of the Guardians. So starts at 7 Central Time on ESPN.
Yep.
I hear the music.
It's your turn.
That means it's my turn. July 18th, 1961, this day in Braves history. A rare triple steal helps Milwaukee to a 12-8 win at Cincinnati as Joe Torre, Joe Adcock, and Hank Aaron take off during the 6th inning. The feat marked Aaron's first steal of home and gave him 15 on the year. Hank Aaron used to run a little bit.
Triple steal.
Triple steal. Bases loaded. Hey, let's go.
That is wild.
Let's go. I like it.
I mean, I'm here for it if you can pull it off.
They did.
They did, in fact. JP, you having fun yet?
Always, man. Why are you laughing, Mo? We got 1 hour in the books. We're still here.
1 hour down.
Still here.
And 7 more to go.
There we go.
Not today.
No. No, that would be a record.
That would be a record.
A new league record.
When we come back, we are going to talk to Ron Higgins of TigerDetails.com and talk about the LSU Tigers a little bit more. The Tigers. They're just Tigers now. Now I got Mo.
They got them. You got them.
Brian Kelly on the podium at the is it a podium down there or is it just I can't tell.
Some call it a lectern, or
I think it's just a lectern.
Is that all it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So Brian Kelly was at the lectern earlier today, and so we'll talk to Ron Higgins about that when we come
Brian
back.
Kelly, Southern accent expert.
Southern accent expert Brian Kelly. We'll talk about it with Ron Higgins in hour number 2. So come back with us. Main Street Sports Day presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coverage from SEC Media Days on Radio Row, brought to you by Shelter Insurance, Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton. We'll be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into hour number 2 of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coverage live from SEC Media Day and Radio Row is brought to you by Jim Pratt Shelter Insurance in Dixon, and also in part by our friends at Redbird Realty, Pam Witt, First Lending Solutions, Jeff Eby, District 69 State Brett, Michael Blunt, State Farm Insurance, C&K Forklift, Porter Brothers HVAC LLC, Area 51 Tech Solutions, the Roxy Theater, Fast Stop Markets, Denton's TV, Shelter Insurance, Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint, Steve Jones, Jeep Chrysler Dodge Fiat, and Bone & Joint Institute of Tennessee. Thank you to all of those sponsors for everything that they have done to make sure that this event gets to take place. It's been a lot of fun getting kind of going here, and it's also been a bit of a challenge. You know, when you're dealing with internet and everything that goes with that, technology, Mo, as you like to say,
it's a beautiful thing when it works.
When it works. So you got to make sure that's the important part.
It works.
That is the important part. It is, in fact. So we are scheduled to have TigerDetails.com's Ron Higgins join us here momentarily. And I know that JP is getting him on the line and excited to talk about that with him. But when we get Ron on the line, we need to get JP to tell us about our friends at Sumner Bank and Trust. Sumner Bank and Trust bringing you the LSU Tigers segment here from SEC Media Days.
That's right. Just as our logo with its layers of the land, water, and sky expresses how important community is to us, our contributions demonstrate a commitment to meet the needs within our community. Sumner Bank and Trust sponsoring our LSU segment this week here at Media Days.
And now we bring in TigerDetails.com's Ron Higgins joining us by phone. Ron, what's going on?
Nothing much. LSU is come and gone already, man. They opened it up and ended it. So they'll probably be back on their playing next hour.
That's how you do SEC.
There you go.
Day,
get in and get out.
Get in, get out,
get
on.
in and get out. Yeah. Ron didn't get a chance to hear Brian Kelly or the LSU guys at the lectern. We did get a chance to visit a little bit with linebacker Mike Jones in the first hour of the show. But, you know, what is your impression of this first few months with Brian Kelly, and what are you expecting out of LSU this fall?
Well, one, he's been extremely organized, and if you ask the question, if you answer with no BS, he's got a sense of humor, but I think it's so dry that he has to qualify that he's joking when he says something. So I mean, he'll say something it's funny, and I'm joking. Like people take it too serious that they think he's serious all the time. But you know, the players like him a lot. You know, he holds them accountable. He's set up a system to hold each other accountable. He's done a really good job recruiting. I mean, he's had to, you know, he's done 15 transfers because LSU had like 35 scholarship players or less than 40 for the bowl game this past season because of people quitting, defections, and all kinds of stuff. He's done a really good job recruiting and piecing stuff together. I think they'll be a lot better than people think. The only thing, I think the basic thing he's worried about is your offensive line and trying to get that together, play a lot better. But there's a lot of other pieces already in place. The defensive line is probably one of the best in the league. The quarterback situation, he's got his choice of quarterbacks, and they all can play. They all have different styles. I don't think LSU's going to do any worse than 8-4, honestly, and they could be a 9-3 team. There's some people thought me have predicted that they'll be average. I don't buy that. They got too much talent to be average, and they finally got a coach who's got a lot of street cred. He's had a lot of success, and he just needs to get to a place where he can take it up in the
Ron Higgins of TigerDetails.com with us here as we discuss LSU football from SEC Media Days on on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Ron, Chris and I were talking last week. Mike Farrell had an article about the 10 most intriguing transfer quarterbacks, and Max Johnson was on that list as he has wound up at Texas A&M. You talked a little bit about the quarterback situation there at LSU. What prompted him to leave?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess he didn't. I guess he felt like he didn't want to have to prove himself to another staff, even though he went to A&M. I mean, basically, he auditioned for A&M in his last game of the season at LSU because he led LSU like a 90-yard touchdown drive that won the game against A&M, and then he goes and signs with them. So, in effect, A&M knew what he could do. I guess he felt like he knew, at that point, really, he was going to be the main quarterback, and then they had Garrett Nussmeier, and that was about it coming back. And I guess he decided to quarterback guru than he would the LSU under Brian Kelly. I mean, of course, that's just, his dad played, Max. I mean, his dad played pro football. Brad, that's the offensive stuff. You could go with a Miles Brennan decided to come back. He got hurt again before last year. That it's just unbelievable bad luck of flip flop caught on a wooden block and tripping, falling down on his shoulder, breaking his arm. But 2 years ago, the really. Go back more than that. I think that's the 2020 season. Yeah, 2020 season. He had a great start, and then he got hurt. A freak injury with his stomach, a torn abdomen that they couldn't figure out how to pin. But in those first 3 games as LSU starter, he threw for more yards and touchdowns than any first-time starter in LSU history. So he can play. And when he decided to come back, Brian Kelly called him and recruited to come back. That was a big get. And because he's their most efficient quarterback, he's been through 6 coordinators. He's been through a coordinator every other year. He knows different systems. So, and he looked very good this spring. So they got him. They got Jaden Daniels, Arizona State transfer, who's a really good runner. Passing not so much. And they got Nussmeier back, Garrett Nussmeier, who has improved a whole bunch. So they don't feel as shaky about their quarterback as it looks from the outside.
You really want whoever it is, whether it's Brennan or whoever else it is, to really step up and take control of that offense, because you've got a guy in Keyshawn Butte that a lot of people feel like is maybe one of the two best receivers in this conference. And so you've got to be able to take advantage of having a talent like that on the outside.
Yeah, and I think Brennan's your guy. I mean, he has the best arm. He makes the best reads, and he doesn't panic, and he spins through all this stuff a bunch. Again, he gets them in the right place. He makes the right decision. And I think he'll be their starter for the opening game. They have a ton of good receivers with Bob Butte. LSU has become the kind of a wide receiver used the past few years. People they put in the pros has been great. And Butte is the next guy. He really is. He's in that Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson class for the next great receiver. Yeah.
Speaking here with Ron Higgins of TigerDetails.com. And Ron, we were talking earlier with Mike about how things have changed, obviously, with the coaching staff and that sort of thing. How do fans feel right now? Is there optimism down in Baton Rouge for this team, or is it cautiously optimistic? Or, as we talked with Roman Harper, are they just chomping at the bit?
I think they're chomping at the bit because they know they can be pretty good. They know they have talent. They know they got a coach. They hired the most proven coach they've ever had. I mean, even Saban didn't have these Kelly's credentials when LSU hired Saban. He's the most accomplished head coach LSU ever hired football. And they feel like they got a guy who knows how to win and can win a national championship in a place where, Kelly will never say this, but I can't help it. He can be thinking, good God, if Les Miles and Ed Orgeron can win national championship at LSU, I certainly can. I mean, he was at a place in Notre Dame that had, academic restrictions. I mean, that they had, Brian left because, basically Notre Dame would never ever get any better facilities or a better eating setup for his athletes. And LSU provided all that to him. And plus, obviously, Louisiana's has great football in-state recruiting for high schools, and Notre Dame had to go to Nashville all the time to get people. There was nobody in Indiana. So, but Brian thought there was some built-in stuff at LSU already. It's the same stuff almost that Nick Saban loved about LSU with his job. Saban loved the fact that LSU Louisiana has such good high school football that's the reason he took LSU. And I know Kelly talked to Saban before he took the job, and Saban told him, "You'd be crazy not to take the job."
Wow. It's interesting that he said that because, we talked about it when he took the job. Not only does does Louisiana not have great high school football, they're also the only game in town. I mean, kids grow up only wanting to go to LSU.
I mean,
there's no Alabama Auburn. There's no,
Louisiana Monroe, Louisiana Lafayette. Tulane. They don't want to hear that. But the fact of the matter is, they're the only game in town.
Yeah, and you go to others. Georgia's got it. Better for worse, got to battle Georgia Tech. Florida's got to battle Miami and Florida State. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Mississippi State, Texas A&M, all of the LSU's kind of got everything. It really does. And if you do a good enough job, you can recruit state and win with a lot of people on your team from in-state. Good deal. They have some other places, but they don't think Louisiana pretty good. Louisiana has a good class. They're going to be okay. And so, again, their class, this next class coming up in 2022, the class of 2023, will probably have more Louisiana kids in it than it did this past year because of the coaching change. And honestly, I mean, Kelly had to go get immediate experience, so that's why he recruited 15 transfers onto the team this year. And a good portion will start because they're pretty good.
Ron Higgins of TigerDetails.com joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Ron, thank you so much for taking some time and shedding some light on this LSU Tigers team. It's certainly going to be interesting to watch it unfold in the Brian Kelly era starting in August. So,
all right, guys, well, take care. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too, Hig.
All right, want to let folks know, remind them where some have branches, we have roots. We are your local community bank. Visit SumnerBankandTrust.com, sponsoring our LSU Tigers segment this week, live from SEC Media Days 2022 in Atlanta.
Can we talk about where some have branches, we have roots?
Mm-hmm.
That is
it's a great line.
Sensational.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
It's impressive.
I mean,
think on that for a minute.
That is something.
By the way, coming up, team segments later this afternoon, this evening on the George Plaster Show. They'll have Missouri and also Ole Miss. Ole Miss is, I believe, Lane may be down there right now.
He was at
See
2
earlier?
o'clock Eastern.
Okay. So Ole Miss and then Missouri later on today, and George and Billy and Watson will have team segments on those schools coming up later.
Should be fun. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about Lane Kiffin as he stood at the lectern with a sensational shoe game. He and Eli Drinkwitz are going hard at it with their shoe game. And when I saw Lane in the Omni earlier as he was walking through, I got a firsthand look and they're fired. So, got a lot to talk about. We'll talk a little bit about what Ron had to say, and we'll get into Ole Miss and the rest of the week and what's going to happen here at SEC Media Days. Looking forward to it. So stick around. Main Street Sports Day presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, live from SEC Media Days. Thanks in part to Shelter Insurance, Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton. We'll be right back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
How do you measure success? In points? In wins? Or trophies? At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, in being there when you need us most. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see agents Jim Pratt or Heather Clifton in Dixon.
At Porter Brothers LLC, we look forward to discussing your plans, resolving concerns, and making improvements to the comfort, health, and efficiency of your home. With the right system operating at its best, you save money, better enjoy the living environment, and increase the value of your investment. We handle all makes and models for seasonal HVAC maintenance and repairs and offer free estimates on replacements. Call us today at 615-446-8067. 615-446-8067.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
As a two-term county commissioner, we built the County Justice Center and the Burns Middle School, all while maintaining a budget surplus. We were able to secure additional funding for all of the volunteer fire departments to get the vital equipment that they need to do their job. I fought on the front lines in Iraq. With your vote, I'll fight on the front lines in our community to give you a voice. Let's do this together.
Paid for by Jeff Eby for State Representative, District 69.
Area 51 Tech Solutions is focused on expert service with quality parts at an affordable price. Their passion is custom-built gaming desktop computers, virtual reality setups, and gadgets, but they also specialize in servicing and repairing all major brands of electronics, including computers, tablets, cell phones, HD TVs, and game consoles. Based in Dixon, they service Middle Tennessee from Clarksville to Murfreesboro and Portland to Columbia. Call them today at 615-379-8113 or visit area51techs.com.
When you think about buying a new or pre-owned car, you might immediately feel anxious about pushy sales staff and being forced into a decision that might not be the right one for you. Our team at Steve Jones Automotive in Dixon is nothing like that. We want to help you find the perfect car, not just the first car you test drive. When you visit our dealership, you'll also see the pricing up front without having to haggle or ask for a special discount. We want to earn your business for life. Come experience the progressive car buying experience with no pressure at Steve Jones Automotive in Dixon, Tennessee, just a short drive from Nashville and the surrounding area.
Founded in 2005, Pamela Witt First Lending Solutions has a reputation of consistently offering the lowest possible rates and, above all, providing outstanding customer service. Pamela Witt First Lending Solutions takes pride in treating our clients with honesty and integrity. We provide excellent service and experience you can trust for all your mortgage needs, proudly serving all of Tennessee. Apply today. Call Pamela Witt First Lending Solutions, 858-518-1506, or online at www.firstlendingonline.com.
NMLS number 314276, ID 135932.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, coming to you live from Radio Row here in Atlanta, Georgia, at the College Football Hall of Fame. It's a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful place, and some of the most, what's the word I'm looking for? They seem very accessible around here, very inviting. I mean, they have reached out to us.
DM me on Twitter.
They've reached out to us via social media and by email to make people available to us, and it's really, it's pretty fun.
I'll tell you, that's one of the cool things about Media Day, Mo, and we couldn't do this without our friends at Shelter Insurance, Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton out in Dixon. Make sure to give them a shout if you are in the market for insurance. But, you know, like we said earlier, folks just kind of coming through saying, hey, can we sit down with you at whatever time, or the availability of different people is just, since it's really cool. Like Tony Barnhart walking through right now, headed to an interview. I mean, it's just the accessibility of everybody, from the College Football Hall of Fame, from the Southeastern Conference, from other media outlets, from teams and coaches. It's just been really eye-opening.
It's really refreshing.
It is.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. And as you mentioned earlier, I wanted to talk a little bit about following up on Ron Higgins and getting into Lane Kiffin's visit to the lectern for Ole Miss. But, we talked last week about the quarterback situation at LSU and trying to figure the Max Johnson departure out and what things look like down there. Ron seems pretty solid that it's going to be Miles Brennan and everybody else. And I guess with the kind of experience that he has, it would be tough for it not to be him. But they've been so unstable there. Again, Brennan with an unfortunate off-field accident that really kind of put all that stuff in motion last year, I guess.
And he also seemed to be pretty confident in Brennan's ability, which I don't know that I necessarily am, but also I don't know what I base that on.
Well, I think when he's been available and when he has played, he's played fairly well.
Sure.
So,
but when you're coming off injury, that makes a little bit of a difference too.
It does.
There's a lot that goes into it. And I think LSU is probably the most intriguing team of the upcoming season. I think there is a lot of question about the team and the program, obviously in the first year, Coach Brian Kelly, but also it's still LSU.
Sure.
The talent level is there, period.
And that's what makes them dangerous.
It absolutely makes them dangerous.
Spinning ahead in Lane Kiffin again, Jackson Dart transfers in from Ole Miss. They've got the kid that played in the bowl game. Was it the Liberty Bowl?
Who? Ole Miss? They were in the Sugar Bowl.
That's okay.
Yeah.
After Matt Corral got hurt.
Right. And
Dart coming in from Southern USCW.
USCW, right? Sorry.
Yes,
you're right. USCW.
So,
and that's interesting too, by the way. Coming from Southern Cal to Lane Kiffin,
coming from LA to
Oxford, Mississippi. They talk about culture shock, right? That is a really good point, Mo. I don't know how you go from, because Oxford's just a small town. I mean, it's not as small as Starkville, but it's just a town.
Oh yeah, it's not LA,
and there ain't nothing else around it. Like, that's the thing. It's like you can't leave Oxford until you get to Memphis, which is another 45 minutes. Yeah, to hour away. Yeah.
So that's. I just hope. I hope you're ready for that.
And I hope you like the food that's available, because you only get certain things. You can't just go down the street and see 27 different styles of restaurants. No, it's 27 restaurants, one style. That's what you get.
You don't think there's sushi in Oxford?
They got one Chinese restaurant for sure. That's it, and 17 Mexican restaurants for sure. Other than that, my guess is it's probably some home country cooking.
But there's the Grove, as Roman Harper said.
There is the Grove. Now, you don't need food there. You get food, and it's usually pretty good, but you don't need food.
It's not food that you're going to the Grove for, is what you're saying.
Well, it's funny because we kind of made light of Brian Kelly's accent earlier, but someone did ask him while he was on stage, in your best Southern accent, tell us what your favorite Southern food is. He said, look, I got a Boston, Midwestern, Louisiana accent now. It's all one dialect. And obviously that's ridiculous because if you have a Boston accent, you're not
don't
getting
have
rid of it. That's the only accent you have.
Right.
But he said that the crawfish etouffee and grilled oysters have become his favorites. And I will say this, at least he has good taste in food.
That's solid.
Because it's hard to beat crawfish etouffee and grilled oysters.
Yeah, that's solid. That's my hat's off to Brian Kelly. He at least figured that out.
He nailed that pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Lane Kiffin has made a fantastic start at Ole Miss, and he's going to continue to bring that program to new heights, and he's going to do it with nice kicks. If you didn't see his shoes, the tongue of his shoes were customized, and it said right shoe the, left shoe sip. You gotta love it. Now they were a little bulky for me. His shoes looked a little bulky, so I'm not I'm a very sleek shoe kind of guy.
Did the cuff say come to?
No, no, sure would have. That would have been great. But Eli Drinkwitz comes out and he's got some Nikes that have like the black and gold tiger stripes on the around the heel, and solid shoe game. So the shoe game so far today has been
on point.
Unless you're John Varlas, and if you wear a suit, wear some dadgum dress shoes, he says.
Well,
and
I don't necessarily have an issue with what John is saying. John is old school. John's like me.
Hey, and that's fine.
I would never think to wear tennis shoes on a suit, but there are those that do.
So,
and most of them make more money than I
and
do.
When they do, the shoe games are usually fire.
No doubt.
So
no doubt.
Looking forward to Ole Miss this season, and the trick plays and the fourth down calls that will no doubt come. 49 times last year, Ole Miss went for it on fourth down. Lane Kiffin says that's not stopping. That number's probably going up.
Hey, maybe he's been hanging out with the coach from Pulaski Academy over in Arkansas.
Well, he said, look, we're selling that we believe in you. We're selling that we're aggressive because we believe that you can get those 3 yards or whatever. And I think that's important. Confidence in your team, right?
Oh, no doubt.
Now, you don't want to put your defense in a bad situation a lot.
You don't want to do it on your own 15.
Sure. But I do think that there's a time and a place, and there's probably more times and more places to do it than other coaches will do it.
I would not disagree with that. Did you see on Twitter Lane signed a mustard bottle?
Oh man, I wish I would have thought about that. Golly, that's a good one. I wish I had thought about a mustard bottle.
Said he has signed a lot of mustard bottles and golf balls.
I bet he has. If I had one with me when I saw him in the lobby, I would have certainly had him take it. I mean, my goodness, that's good.
That's pretty low hanging fruit, though.
It
really.
is. It is. But if you're a Tennessee fan, it's funny. If you're not a Tennessee fan, you're a jerk.
Well, and he said, Kiffin said, I did sign a mustard bottle. That was the first guy to come up, which I think he had an Alabama shirt on, so I was a little confused there.
Very confused.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly, that's another thing here at SEC Media Days in Atlanta versus Hoover. There doesn't seem to be as many fans in the lobby as there are. I mean, when Alabama, now again, Nick Saban's not gotten here yet.
Kirby Smart's not gotten here yet.
We'll find out what it's like tomorrow. But it is a little different.
It has been. It's not been the gathering, the cluster that you did see in Hoover in past years. And like you said, it'll be interesting to see as the week progresses how that continues or doesn't.
Yeah. Someone asked Lane about there being two big personalities in the state of Mississippi, he and Dion. And, he asked, how has Dion affected recruiting? And I thought that's a great question because, we talked about that when Deion first got hired.
Mm-hmm.
How much is it going to affect recruiting in Mississippi? And then you throw in the personality of Mike Leach.
Yeah, I don't know how you can talk about coaching personalities in Mississippi and not mention Mike Leach.
Well, he basically said, look, there are 3 personalities here that are unique, extremely different from one another. And, he's right. I don't know of another state that has 3 just big time over the top personalities as football coaches, and all 3 of them really are.
Oh yeah.
There are not 3 better interviews in one state than Deion Sanders, Lane Kiffin, and Mike Leach. Period.
And if you can come up with a trio of Division I, I'd say if you can come up with a trio of Division I coaches in a state that rivals Kiffin, Leach, Sanders, I want to hear it.
I don't think you could. I mean, I go to Alabama and I think, Nick Saban and Bill Clark last year would be 2, but Brian Harsin is not in that same vein. I don't think, not yet. I mean, he could get there potentially, but he's not there yet. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't think even California, and there are 37 schools in California, and you couldn't come up with 3 coaches that rival those 3. So that's you're right. I mean, not only are they great interviews and great personalities, they're great football coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty exciting stuff, man. I'm super pumped to see what Lane has in store, and a lot of folks asking Lane about Nick Saban today, and he's like, you know what, it is what it is. I get it. So Nick Saban, he's the guy. He's what everybody strives to be. So I guess if folks are asking you to talk about Nick Saban and answer questions about Nick, then they feel like you've got some place to go. So I think that's going to do it for segment number 6.
I've not been
that was
keeping
6.
Count. Was that 6?
We got 7 segments today because we got an extra.
That's right.
An extra few minutes, and we're going to get to those extra few minutes right after this. We're going to take a quick break, pay some bills. When we come back, we'll take our final thoughts of the day, and we will direct you on how to view the George Plaster Show. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone, and join us live from SEC Media Days. Thanks to Shelter Insurance, Jim Pratt, and Heather Clifton. We'll be right back after this.
Main Street Media, live from SEC Media Days in Atlanta, is presented by Shelter Insurance of Dixon and Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter. And in part by Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee, Steve Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat, Jeff Eby for State Representative, Red Bird Realty, Porter Brothers HVAC LLC, Area 51 Tech Solutions, Micah Blunt State Farm Agency, Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint, Denton's The TV Store, Fast Stop Markets of Middle Tennessee, C&K Forklift Service and Repair, First Lending Solutions and Pam Witt, and by the Roxy 8 Theater of Dixon.
How do you measure success? In points? In wins? Or trophies? At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, in being there when you need us most. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance,
How do you measure success? In points? In wins? Or trophies? At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, in being there when you need us most. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
for auto, home, life, or business insurance, see agents Jim Pratt or Heather Clifton in Dixon.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Don't overpay for your next home entertainment system. Visit the folks that have been selling, installing, and repairing TVs, stereos, and more for the last 40 years. Denton's, the TV store in Dixon, has the largest selection of high-end TVs on display. Denton specializes in professionally designed unique TV, audio, and video systems for the whole house, man cave, or outdoor space. Stop by in the Dixon Plaza across from Kroger or call 615-446-2222. Denton's, the TV store. It's in the name.
At Redbird Realty, we are committed to providing you with the highest quality service in not only finding your cherished home, but also a wise investment. With over 27 years experience in the real estate industry, we offer high quality service and we treat our clients the way that we would like to be treated. When you're ready, we would appreciate the opportunity to learn more about your real estate needs and answer any questions you may have. Call us at 615-476-2879. 615-476-2879.
With 14 locations across Tennessee, family-owned Fast Stop Markets knows you need simple. The one-stop shop for fuel, food, and more now offers Fast Stop Perks, an easy-to-sign-up rewards program that turns your purchases into points that you can spend like cash. You can also win prizes, join clubs, and save big. Get your Fast Stop Perks card at checkout or download the Fast Stop Perks app to start earning your points today. Fast Stop Markets, keeping you moving.
C&K Forklift Repair understands that a non-working forklift puts a hold on your team's ability to do its job. Our certified technicians work quickly and efficiently 24 hours a day to repair and provide maintenance on your forklift using only high-quality replacement parts. With over 15 years' experience, C&K Forklift Repair also provides training and instruction for forklift operators covering all of Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and Northern Alabama. Give us a call, 615-651-2735.
State Farm Agency Micah Blunt is proud to bring you live coverage from SEC Media Days. Micah was born and raised in Tennessee and takes pride in providing the highest degree of protection for all customers. State Farm offers auto, home, and life insurance at the price you can afford. Located in Dixon, Tennessee, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Give Micah and his team a call today to help with all of your insurance needs. Serving all of Tennessee, call 615-229-2999. That's 615-229-2999.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in. Final thoughts and parting shots for today on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coverage live from SEC Media Days, of course, brought to you by Shelter Insurance, Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton. Mo, what's going on? Final thoughts? You got something? Something for us?
Well, there's a little draft going on.
Is there?
this week? First and second round of the MLB draft were last night.
Yeah.
Former Loretto standout Blade Tidwell went 52nd overall to the New York Mets. Congrats and sad day at the same time, because it's going to be tough to root for him unless he gets traded. From Belmont, Guy Lipscomb selected in the 5th round by the Cleveland Guardians. First Bruin drafted since Dylan King and Matt Cogan were both taken in the 2018 draft. So congratulations to him. And former Summit standout Chris McElvain went in the 8th round a little bit ago to Cincinnati. So be worth keeping an eye on that to see if he signs or if he comes back.
There you go. And now joining us is George Plaster, who will be coming up right at 4 o'clock. George, how can folks see your show at 4 o'clock? I'm going to make sure we get folks from our show to your show as quickly as possible.
You're asking me?
And I want you to tell us all. Tell us exactly how.
This could be a really short conversation. Billy, you want to come over and answer this?
So we've got at the Plaster Show on Twitter, right?
Yes. Same thing, I guess, on Facebook.
Facebook as well.
Yeah.
And then
YouTube.
And then Main Street Media TV on YouTube, right?
I think that's
you
right.
You can see our show on there as well, but you can also see Georgia. So you can just stick around there and it should pop up for you. But, this has been kind of crazy. What's your initial thoughts on SEC Media Day?
Well, I'll say this. It's been a lot of fun for me. I mean, it's been an old home week seeing some people. Claude Felton, who has been the sports information director. Mo, I know you've dealt with him for years in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
He and I have both decided that none of these coaches are having the fun they used to. This NIL thing is a mess. Somebody's got to step in and take care of that. Saw David Cutcliffe a few minutes ago, which was awesome. He's going to be on with me on Wednesday, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I'll give you all this. He's unbelievably skinny. And I said, what is that about? And he said, my cardiologist told me if it tastes good, spit it out.
I get that. That's Cutcliffe right there, isn't it?
How good is that?
That's pretty fantastic.
We also went through an Ole Miss football recruiting effort to try to get a guy named Jeff Francoeur to be a football rebel.
So you will be diving in depth into Ole Miss and Missouri today on your show.
And Bill Hancock, the executive director of the college football playoff system, will join us at 5:20. Brent Zwerneman, who broke the Texas OU deal a year ago, will be on at 5. That's an interview you want to hear. Man, he's got some great stuff.
I bet he does.
Yeah.
There you go. So
Be listening.
Main Street Sports today is saying goodbye. George Plaster will be on momentarily, so stick around on Main Street Media TV for JP Plant over on the end there. We appreciate you guys. Obviously, Shelter Insurance, Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton. Of course, our title sponsors, Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We love you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We will be back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Have a good one.
Go Braves, Mo.